You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation Collecting Citizen. Come on, won't you stay with me? Welcome to the show. Gather around the boys and girls, collectors from around the world. Let's show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Gonna talk to guests, only got the best. Gonna put their knowledge to the test. Gonna laugh and eat, gonna live the dream. Gonna show you things you've never seen. Gonna sing a song to the break of dawn. Gonna rock this party all night long. So come on everybody, let me see you dance. Get yourself ready for one more chance. You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation Collecting Citizen. Come on, won't you stay with me? Welcome to the show. Gather around the boys and girls, collectors from around the world. Let's show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show, everybody. It's the PlayStation Collectors Podcast, Season 3, Episode 38. Oh, my goodness. My name is Joe Rad. How you doing? And today, returning to the show for our second appearance, Mr. Marcus from Video Game Votary. How you doing, buddy?
What's up, guys? How is everybody out there? Happy to be back, man. Thanks for inviting me back.
Oh, yeah, man. Thanks for coming back. For the record, we were almost on time, but StreamYards was broken. It wasn't our fault, okay, guys? For once, I can blame something else. It's not my fault. I was hitting the button, and it was just like, you know what? I'll try again later.
Not tonight.
That was
Very
like,
true.
What the heck?
Very true.
But it's working, so yeah. All's well that ends well, I suppose. But yeah, man, how you doing, Marcus? How you been? What's new exciting, man?
I'm good. I can't complain. Everything's going well. Just working, getting ready to go to SoCal Expo in a couple weeks. So I'm excited
cool.
about that.
Oh, it's a big trip for you, right? You're East Coast, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
definitely.
man, going all the way out there. That's cool.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm jealous. You got any plans to hang out with anybody out there, meeting up with some people?
Yeah. Black Ranger and I are supposed to be out there. And
Oh, nice.
I'm definitely excited to meet some of the other content creators, Gaming Off the Grid, JRPG, Daniel. I know you guys had him on there on the show, and he'll be back. Pixel Game Squad, hang out with those guys again, Mort's Garage.
Very
and
cool.
almost most importantly, we're like 30 minutes away from Super Nintendo World. So that's where I'll be the first day for sure. So
that's awesome.
Excited as hell about that.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun.
Definitely.
I've only seen videos, obviously, but it looks like a good time.
It definitely does.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, speaking of Daniel, he's going to be coming on the show this weekend again. Yep. So if you guys want to check him out, he'll be back on Saturday. And then, all those content creators are great. I'm a huge fan of Gaming Off the Grid, actually. You know those guys. Really cool channel. So yeah, I've always gravitated towards like people who like to 1cc games or do no death runs or like try to do like take like old retro games and make them more challenging and stuff like that. And they do a lot of cool content like that. They do a lot of no death runs and stuff like that, which I enjoy quite a bit.
Yeah, definitely.
And also, I really like golf. When they're like golf video games and they play golf a lot to play Tiger and stuff. So I'm always like, all right, this is where I want to be. Yeah, I don't know what it is, man. I love golf games. It's like I should have talked about that more with Black Ranger when he was on the show. We did an episode on sports a little while ago. If you guys want to check that out. Yeah. But I collect I have almost all of the Tiger games. Like I'm missing a few here and there. But like I just really like them and they're fun to collect and they're cheap and every single one of them is fun to play. If you like one of them, you like all of them, I suppose. So
they are fun as hell. The golf games are fun. It's definitely like almost like a sleeper kind of what you think about it. Like
yeah. Well, it's they're good games for by yourself, and they're also good games for when you have people to play with. And it's nice because like no matter how many people you have to play with, whether it's 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, like you can still have fun and play golf. Like
absolutely, especially on some get all the friends over, get yourself a tournament going. telling you, high competition, a lot of fun.
Well, that's yeah. We were talking about in the sports games. They're like fighting games, and a lot like they're more enjoyable when you have a group of friends to play with, and you can get real
Absolutely.
competitive. Yeah, that stuff's really cool.
Definitely.
One thing I found while I was doing a little research with Tiger games is that I'm sure a lot of people know this already, but on PS1, one of the Tiger Woods games, like the first 100,000 copies, I think it's Tiger Woods 99, maybe I think. It had like a demo episode of South Park on the disc.
You
Like
want to know
somebody,
what's funny?
yeah.
I went to a local store, Storm Crow Games, earlier.
Mhm,
And the other day when I was in there, the owner was talking about that. Shout out to Storm Crow Games and Tyler. I
mhm.
think that was on. I can't remember if he said Tiger Woods or Triple Play. I'm guessing it's Tiger Woods, but he literally was in there trying it, and he pulled it up. It's legit. It's a certain UPC. I actually took a picture of it. I was like, that is awesome.
Yeah.
That's insane that happened.
Yeah, and so that's like one of the easiest ways to tell is like on the disc, there's like a specific like UPC code. You can tell if it's one of the ones that has that file on it or whatever.
Yeah,
Otherwise, you have to put it in a PC and like look at the actual files on it to find
right.
it. Yeah, I just thought that was fascinating. So it's and the reason I found out about it because I was looking for games and it's like the regular copy of that game's like $7.99
Mhm.
complete in box, but then all of a sudden they were like South Park one, this one $100, $120.
Yeah,
I'm like, what the heck, man?
yeah. It went up like $60 or something like that. So
Um, it's just crazy. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know what they're selling for. This is where people are just asking for them. That's the sort of thing that like I would never pay up to get the special Tiger Woods South Park one. That's the type of stuff I want to find.
exactly,
I mean,
I
someone's
agree.
selling games, and you're like, oh, you look through the Tiger. Oh, you got Tiger Woods. You look, and you're like, oh, it's the one with that thing. All right, cool.
Right,
That's when you want your knowledge to pay off or whatever.
exactly.
Yeah, it's because it's like it's not like I'm gonna. What do I need to pay for that for? What?
Exactly. Nah, I agree. I
Budget.
agree.
But yeah, man. Speaking of which, full Wii set is wild, huge props. So yeah, that's the main theme of the episode. We'll talk about some other stuff too, but as you see with their background and the title of the show, Marcus is going for a full Wii set. And how's that been going?
Been going, man. Been having a lot of fun. A lot of games, man. It's almost 1,300 if you
Mhm.
include variants. I don't think I want to do the variants. So I've
Mm.
gotten so deep into the collection. It's like, no, nah, I've had enough. Like I'm not doing variants. So I just want to finish up and
Mm.
yeah, just be happy that I finished another set. So we're getting there.
So yeah, variants cost me about $130 this week. Just buying a
Wow,
couple variants, but we'll show those off when they come in. But yeah, um,
awesome.
that's the end of the road. But those, see, when you get down to variants, I feel like that's when you kind of slow down and you're collecting and you buy them here and there as like a treat. That's
Yeah,
the way I
yeah,
do it. Like I'm just like again, it's one of those things where once I need just like one or two things or three or four, like just a couple things to complete a set, I'm just waiting for a good deal at that point. I'm in no rush. Like that's one of the things that I would emphasize to anybody collecting is like don't rush collect.
yeah.
Like
No.
I know you feel like there's like some obligation to catch it, complete the set as fast as possible.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's good because prices do go up. I understand that, and sometimes you miss out on something because you waited too long. But at the same
Right.
time, sometimes you overspend and prices come down. So it's cool to just chill and wait for the right thing. Like
Absolutely.
one of the variants I ordered. I don't want to spoil it. I'm gonna keep people in suspense so they come back to see what it
Mhm.
is. It was like selling like for the last like 2 years. There was only like one or two copies going on eBay, and they were like always listed for like $150. And I'm like, I'll just chill. And then like randomly this week, I saw one for like $80,
Mm.
and I was like,
Were they on
yeah,
eBay?
I feel, yeah, this was on eBay. There was just one copy. Yeah.
It's funny you talked about that because I noticed that with a particular game, right?
Mm-hmm.
I saw one listing and I started seeing a trend that some of these like uncommon rare games that kind of pricey.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you will, for instance, I bought one that I needed for my collection. I'll show that off later.
Mm-hmm.
And that was literally the only listing online, period. After I bought mine, like 2 more popped up. I'm like, I wonder if it's like the same person that's like kind
Mm-hmm.
of putting it out there. Let me get the max price because it's the only one, which kind of makes sense. Can't blame them. And
Mm-hmm.
then now here's the other ones. Like, voila.
Oh yeah,
So
there absolutely are people that do that. I mean, there are game companies that are doing that for God's sakes. That's basically what Special Reserves are doing with their own games right now.
yeah,
They're I don't know. I guess I don't know. I haven't checked their actual regular website. I think it's down, like their storefront or whatever. And so basically, they took their leftover stock and they're just like selling it on eBay as an eBay seller. And what
right.
they seem to be doing is they put it up, and then after a round sells out, they put up another round and they increase the price. And then when that sells out, they put a round up and they increase the price. So they're doing that themselves. So
Yeah,
yeah. It is what it is. But
business wise, that makes sense.
it
A little
it
bit,
does
a
and
little
it
bit.
doesn't.
Yeah,
It's like I don't know. It's fine. It's part of the fun of the limited collecting is the small numbers of the print runs and stuff like that. But I
right.
could see people having some complaints about
Oh yeah,
manipulating the markets
exactly.
and doing that sort of thing. Oh, so let's just get this right out of the back. So Jim Jam, he's probably watching on Figsy's Twitch channel. He says, "Hope you're doing well, Figs?" Question mark, because he's not here.
Yeah, fixes it.
He's not here. So let's just get this out of the way. So let's just answer the question: where is Figsy? Where is this guy? So if you guys aren't aware, he's on a little vacation. He's traveling the world abroad. He's trying to become a GeoGuessr master. He's trying to get his power level over 9,000 in GeoGuessr. And to do that, he's hitting the streets. So, real brief, he's been to France. He's been to Mexico. He's been to Spain. He was up in the Antarctic. And then last week, no, not last week, 2 weeks ago, he was in Japan. And then last episode, he was in Russia.
Oh my God.
But this week, yeah, he just wanted to say hello. He went back to Europe and he's catching some sun, and he's over in Italy this week. So there he is. He's saying hi. Doing what he has to do. I feel like GeoGuessr would be really easy in Venice, considering like the streets are water. But it is what it is, But yeah, that's what Figsy is, and he's doing real well, guys, and he's going to check in with us as he keeps traveling the globe, and we'll keep checking in with him. So
Awesome.
And while we're off topic, and we're not talking about video games, which is what 80% of the show is. People are like, "Isn't this a video game show?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's supposed to be," but after like a couple hundred episodes, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But did you see the new painting from King Charles? I almost said Prince Charles, but he's King Charles now from England. Did you see the new portrait that was revealed on online?
I didn't see it.
Okay, so basically, the best I could describe it as, it looks like King Charles emerging from a portal from hell, and that's basically what most people have agreed that it looks like. And it's just been funny to me, and so I just want to share with you some of the things I've seen on the internet about this that really made me
Please
there's
do.
more. I just couldn't gather them all. This is just the most I can. So here's the first, just to give you a general idea of what the portrait looks like. It's also the new cover for the re-release anniversary edition of Doom.
Awesome.
So yeah, the only thing edited about this is the Doom logo. I mean, other than that, that is the actual portrait. It wasn't like changed or whatever. Wow. And so yeah, I mean, that's not scary at all.
No.
Yeah, it's got a little cute butterfly though. You see the little butterfly over her shoulder? That's nice. Mm-hmm. That's cute. So that was my favorite thing. And you know, most people, a lot of people, they were saying the same thing, and they said it reminded them of the portrait from Ghostbusters 2. I don't know if you remember Ghostbusters 2, Vigo and everything.
Yeah, vaguely.
So so a lot of people were just putting up pictures of Vigo and stuff like that, and that was cute. That was kind of a cute joke. But this one made me laugh because I feel like they put a little bit of like the extra effort in. So they said, you know, that King Charles painting that dropped. I read it through the spectrum analyzer. There's definitely a living presence there. So
Oh
if
my
you've seen
God.
Ghostbusters 2, this is what they like after they scan the photo. And it's like this river of slime
Jesus.
flowing beneath the city. I don't know. I just felt like Brandy Bryan here. She put in the extra effort to make this joke better. So I figured this is worth highlighting.
That is crazy.
It's good stuff. Another one that made me laugh. Got the King Charles deep dish. Chicago style with the sauce on top, man. You know what I mean? Got to put the sauce on top. I thought that
Slightly
was
burnt
funny.
crust. That's a nice touch with that.
And then I thought this one was cute too.
Oh my God.
Emperor Palpatine's newest one looks good. I mean, I can see him. I mean, this seems like more like the right vibe. I could see this guy having this hanging in his bathroom, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
You know, pushing out the dark side of the Force. Anyway, this one made me laugh too. This is a throwback. I haven't seen this guy in a while. Good old Larry the Cable Guy. Did you see King Charles and Vale's official portrait today? This is my official portrait from last year.
It's freaking crazy.
Something fishy going on here. I don't know. I like it. I also like how his is donuts.
Right. That's gonna be a living meme the rest of the year. I can see it now.
It's a good one. Another one that made me laugh is all these people are like taking the photo and like putting it together and like duplicating it and turning it upside down, and they're like, it looks like Mephistopheles. It's the Baphomet statue from. It's like they're making all this stuff out of it. But I don't know. This one made me laugh. This person, they got it right. Like clearly, if you put them together and side by side, it's actually the bunny from Donnie Darko is actually what ends up forming in the middle there. So,
Oh my God.
yeah. Well, I don't know what's creepier. Would you be more freaked out if it was Satan or if it was the bunny from Donnie Darko? I don't know. I think both are absolutely terrifying.
Absolutely.
And then the last one that really made me laugh. I don't know. I don't know why. I just thought this one was good. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Good old
That is
Elden
crazy.
Ring. We've all been there. The Charles the Finger, King of the Scarlet Rot. Oh yeah. And so yeah. Anyway, I started to go off topic there for a little while, but just God, this has been amusing. Like I don't know, life. I feel like the reality that we live in is stranger than fiction, folks, for sure.
Definitely.
It's you know, if you asked me 20 years ago what I thought today would be like, I would never have been able to describe today in as crazy enough terms that actually do it justice. Let's put it that way. Like, it's just,
Not a
yeah,
chance.
good stuff. But yeah. Anyway, that was like a totally off topic. But anyway, if you're wondering where Figsy is, that's where Figsy is. And then if you're wondering about if Satan was reborn as King Charles, yes, the answer is yes. He is the chosen one. He is the unholy one. But anyway, since this is a video game show, let's go back and talk about the Wii. So, is there any particular reason that like you chose the Wii to go after? Was this like a system that like you had a lot of nostalgia for, or was it just something that like you decided to collect for other reasons? Like what made you get into it?
Well, I completed the Wii U set a couple years ago before it got all crazy and got expensive, and I was trying to decide what I was going to do next. The Wii U set was relatively small. I think it was like 200 something games or whatever, if it was that much. I can't even remember now. So I was kind of like trying to get ahead of trends before it starts, increasing in price. The GameCube, of course, caught fire, and now that's crazy expensive. So, but I also was like nervous. I'm like, okay, well, maybe the Wii, but I'm like, it's got a shitload of games. Like, I don't know if I want to do that. But my logic was, okay, nobody's doing the Wii right now. And then also, there's a shitload of shovelware. It should be kind of cheap. sort of. Even though it's a lot of games, like a lot of those games, I should be able to get for cheap. So I did some research and I went for it. That was pretty much what it was. It's kind of like, not trying to get into
Mm.
GameCube or something like that. That was insanely expensive. So I just
Smart.
decided to go Wii. Oh, and
Yeah, I mean, um, I say this about all physical media. I don't care what it is. Eventually, it'll go up in price and in value. Everything, its time will come.
mhm,
And the Wii, it may not be now, but it'll come. I know
it's
people
coming.
have been ignoring Xbox and Xbox 360 for a long time, and now all of a sudden, all it takes is that spark, that fire, that FOMO bug, that
Yep,
oh my god, that price is rising panic to set in, and then people start making videos about it, and then it's the fervor, and it's like a snowball effect, and it just gets crazier and crazier. And yeah,
exactly.
so I think the time will come for the Wii, just like everything else.
Absolutely.
Um, Also, too, if time has told me anything, Nintendo fans are just by far and above the most passionate
Yeah.
collectors there are. And similar to how you finished your Wii U set and you were like, what new? What's next? What should I move on to?
Yep.
There'll be people finishing their NES sets, their SNES sets, their N64 sets. There'll be people who are into Nintendo who finished what they're doing
Hmm.
that will move on to the Wii eventually. So
Yeah.
it's just a matter of time. So it's definitely it's a good move to do that for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully, I'm able to, help people along with that process, things that I notice, and if I were to do certain things different, um, and certain games to kind of look out for, because the deeper I get into the set,
Mhm.
noticing like certain variants in certain games, I'm noticing like, when you go on eBay, it'll say X amount of people has this game in the cart, and it's kind of like, why do you have that game? Like people are really starting to catch on. So, I would
Mhm.
like to kind of give that advice. I kind of feel like that's gonna suck when like the Wii U has its time when they start jacking those prices because there's so many. It's
Mhm.
gonna suck when you try to go for a set. So, but it's kind of intimidating though too when it's almost 1,300 games. You're kind of like, sheesh.
Yo, it's definitely intimidating, and I feel like full set collecting, for a lot of the libraries out there, they're much more reasonable when you're talking like 500-600 games or less. Once you
Right.
get more than that, like you said, it just becomes a whole different ball game. And then once you get into like PS4 and Switch and stuff like that, it's
Hmm.
like wowza.
Yeah.
Like we've had quite a few people on the show that are going for a full PS4 set, and I'm always just like, God bless, sir. Good luck, Godspeed,
What
because you're
what is that
talking three to
number?
Oh, I dep so, when you say full set, it means different things to different people. So it depends on if you mean like just ESRB, North Americans. Do you want all exclusives even from South America? Do you want everything with English, or do you want like everything? Do you want like everything, all variant? I mean, it can go
Let's
crazy. Like,
let's say
but
North American retail
mm,
without variants.
I mean, I honestly I don't know
Okay.
an actual number. If I were to guess, I'm saying I would say it's north of 3,000 by
Oh
now,
my
I would
God.
guess.
Jesus.
I would
That's
think.
insane.
But I don't know. Maybe that's just maybe I don't know. Are you including limited rare like companies like that? I don't know. It's tough to say. I'd have to see. But
Yeah.
I would guess it's probably around that number. That would be
Yeah.
my guess, yeah.
Right.
And then nowadays too, it's just crazy collecting because it's worldwide. It's region wide too. And
Yeah.
I feel like you get off easy in a way if you're collecting for an older system because you're just like, well, none of those games are going to play. So it's a
Yeah.
lot easier to exclude that from your list of what you want to get. But
Right.
like for PS4, it's like this
Yeah.
could be just came out in Korea, but if it has English on it, if it has English, it has English. Do you want to get it or not? So it's like
Exactly.
it becomes a
Yeah.
lot more wild.
Yeah. That's a good point. I never really considered that, but yeah, that's definitely a point how all these different regions have, all these different versions and variants. And the number one thing that I would suggest for anybody going at the any set is doing as much research as possible.
Hmm.
Because I could say Reggie helped me out. I sent him my list, and he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Go back over this because some of these games, like they don't exist or didn't have a physical release and stuff like that. Like and also trying to find like concrete information. You know,
Mhm.
people post stuff and it's not always concrete. And I think that's where, you know, us collectors come into play and creating the content to give that information out. Because the only other person, besides someone that was on Metal Jesus channel like years ago, the only other person was someone in Canada. And we, you know, share information here and there. He finished the set. And like to this day, we're still finding like different variants and stuff. He's like, yeah,
Mhm.
I came across this, and I came across a few that he didn't have on his list. So it really is insane. The only thing you can do is find someone that's passionate about whatever console you want to collect for, and just dig and dig and dig. But it's almost one of those things where you probably need to give yourself a cutoff, whether or not you're doing variants. If you're including limited run, which, you know, for the newer consoles, that definitely sucks because it's a lot of that. And all these different companies with all these, you know, releasing these games or indie games and stuff like that, like, you know, the information is kind of like
Mhm.
almost in ways endless.
Yeah, and
Um,
I honestly think that, you know, there's been a resurgence of a lot of these retro companies or little limited print companies releasing new retro games. Like you're
mhm,
getting new Dreamcast games, and you're getting new SNES carts, and you're getting Mega Drive carts, Genesis carts, or whatever. I've been hanging out with too many Europeans, man. They got me saying Mega Drive. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm
well,
ashamed of my American
it's,
heritage, but I
it's,
keep calling it Mega Drive.
it sounds
You know,
awesome though.
yeah, it's there's a lot of people on YouTube who call it that. I don't know. It's just in my head. But yeah, I lost my train of thought. But um, I see new Wii games coming out down the road too. Like I do see like limited run, like it,
Mhm.
like that nostalgia. I mean, they're making 3DO games. Well, you don't know about that
Oh
controversy,
my
right?
God, yeah,
You get my point. I shouldn't
yeah,
even mention that because that's I don't want to go down that whole topic again. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
um, I still feel like like the story ain't over for these consoles, and that's
Hmm.
another thing that I've speculated on, like on this show, because you know these companies, eventually the console makers will not be making consoles that have optical drives or cartridge slots anymore. They just won't exist, and so
Right.
like they won't have a choice. Like even if they want to still create physical games, they won't be able to because there won't be a console for it. So at
Hmm.
that point, they literally have two options. They could either literally come out with their own console, and they could do that, or maybe
Yeah.
they'll be like third, you know, party developers like Analog or companies making consoles, but they're
Right.
just gonna keep releasing PS4 games and Wii games and Game
Hmm.
Boy games. They're like all of the hardware that we like to use, like us old timey people, us
Hmm.
old fogies. They'll just keep making that stuff forever.
Right.
That's what I think is going to keep happening, or they'll
Yeah.
go out of business. Because if they try to start selling all digital collector's editions, that will not work.
No, no.
Mm-mm.
What would you get in that besides you know, additional content
No,
or
I
artwork
no.
files or something like that?
Yeah. At that point, what you are is you're just a glorified merch store. You might
Yeah.
as well just be a merch store and just be like, we just so now if a new game comes out, you can go to limited run and you can get a shirt for it, and a
Hmm.
hat for it,
Right.
and skateboard for it, and whatever. That'll be what they have. They're just a merch store, a
Yeah.
statue, because that's what are you going to get with a digital collector's? A box, cardboard box that statue comes in. Just get the statue. I don't know. So it's
Head
interesting.
into some weird times.
Yeah.
Going through some weird times.
Now, did you pull out some games for the Wii that like you wanted to show off, like maybe some of the
Yeah.
games that you were like harder to find? Not necessarily like they don't have to be expensive games or super rare or whatever. Just like I don't know, anything that was interesting or
All right.
a
Well,
pain in the butt or something to
let's.
keep people should keep an eye out for.
All right. So we can start with these because these are actually probably the most interesting, and I'm pretty sure people don't know too much about these. If you do, comment, let me know. I was kind of shocked by it. So they had at least it was three of these games that were Wii games that included DVDs in them. So one of them being Lego Batman. So this one has the Batman movie inside on
Hmm.
DVD along with the game. So if you see these out in the wild, I would definitely pick them up. I think they average somewhere between $30 and $50, and they're probably only going to go up right after this. Everybody's going to run the price up. So,
And that's not like a regular Wii case, right? Or is it like a
it
standard?
is, but they call these like the silver sleeve ones. So that's
okay.
where you can definitely see the difference. Like it'll be like automatic, like even on like the spine there, it's got that
Gotcha.
silver thing. So the next one was Scooby Doo in the Spooky Swamp. So it has that movie on there, and then the last one is Lego Harry Potter, and that has a Harry Potter film on DVD. So these are definitely like something that is very, very uncommon. I'm not sure how many copies were made, but I'm pretty sure it's not a lot. But those are definitely interesting for me to find. And I got those later in there. And then
Yeah, there's like a
popular one.
whole gosh, there's tons of stuff like that for the PS3.
I'd imagine.
Figsy showing off that, and a couple people from our European guests too. They have tons of those DVDs. Yeah, a lot of them for PS3 make no sense.
Yeah.
It's like here's Annie the movie and Killzone the game.
Right.
Like, okay, what the hell?
Yeah, strange combinations. You just never know. Another strange game was this one it's definitely North American, but it was like kind of weird. You didn't really see listings for it. And myself and another content creator in Team G Cell, he's in Canada. We share a lot of information back and forth because he has a complete set. And after I made my video, after I got this game, he kind of agreed with me. I think this may be the rarest game because it's like you couldn't find it. There was like one seller on Walmart, and they were sealed. It's Disney's Violetta. So apparently that was some show that was on Disney Channel. I've never heard of her or seen it. I know they have it on. She does look very happy.
She's having a good time.
But there was literally like just that only seller on Walmart. And even when he looked, he agreed like that was kind of it. It's strange though. I don't know why. It's like he's the only one that had all of them and had them sealed. But it's not expensive. It's like
it's probably her. It's probably
it probably is her. Like, yeah, I'm gonna
or
own
her dad or something like that.
Right.
It just was like, oh, he's the only one who bought it.
Yeah, that's strange. That's so strange. But that may be the rarest game. Normally the rare ones are weird, especially on Wii.
That's definitely fair. That's the thing. When it comes to full set collecting, I've always said that's like really fun, and then at the end, it's not so fun because you just have to end up like tracking down and paying for these weird games that are not necessarily. It's not like you're like, yes, I'm gonna play this too. It's gonna be sweet. I've always wanted this one.
Right. You might say yes because you found it, but not because you have any plans on playing it. And it's funny you said that because I think I was at Too Many Games last year, and I was with my buddy, and I found this game, and I'm like, yes. He's like, what? What happened? I found Jerry Rice Dog Football on the Wii. I was happy as hell. It's like I've been looking for this game for like 2 years and finally seen it. It was like $5, but it was just weird as hell seeing it. Jerry Rice Dog, like they came up with that. Like they literally did any and everything on the Wii. It's kind of nuts. But.
Well, that's the thing about the Wii library is that, and that's why I feel like it will have its day, so to speak. Is that it is very interesting, and there are a lot of exclusives, like because of the controller.
Right.
You know what I mean? There are a lot of games that are specifically designed for the Wii itself that were not ported into any other platform. So,
right, yeah,
people looking for unique gaming experiences, that'll be an appealing platform because it's just got a ton of stuff that like you won't find other places. Now, whether or not dog football is what you're looking for, I don't know, maybe, but that ain't the point.
I mean, it's always interesting because it's like, games may quote unquote suck, but then, some of the best games are the ones that's not necessarily good if you're rating it based on graphics and all these different things. Like, it could be like guilty pleasure games, So I do have plans to like at least try all of these games just to kind of give some insight because I think, for one, just for the knowledge of people, and then you never know what you may be interested in. Like you talk about playing Tiger Woods. Not everybody's into that, but some people like, you know what, I'm gonna try Tiger Woods today, and then they might love it.
It's so good.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. And it's just like, so golf is one of those things where you're technically playing against yourself, even if you're like playing against your friends.
Mhm.
And so like it's hilarious when your friends are playing and they shank it or something, man. That's funny, man. I don't know, that never gets old when they're like, oh, here we go. Brink. And they're like, no, it's just
super competitive.
it's just never not funny. It'll never not be funny till for the day I die when it then it lands in the sand trap. It's just good stuff. It's always good. It's always funny to me.
Yeah, definitely.
No,
man.
speaking of like unique experiences on the Wii, like I literally just want to take a moment to discuss my favorite Wii game
Okay.
ever. It's not like the craziest game in the world. It's not like going to change your life or whatever, but it's definitely a unique game. And I talked about it before on the show. But yeah, it's called Excite Truck. It's this game right here.
Yes.
So
that was one of the launch titles, I think.
It might be. I mean, it's definitely one of the earlier games in the system, and it did have a sequel at some point too.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a huge sucker for arcade racing games in general.
Yeah.
Like I just love arcade racing games,
Yes.
and I also I like stunt racing games too. I guess like we were talking about this. I think with Mort, he got a stunt racer game for N64 that I used to like to play. Anyway, this game, you play with the Wiimote. And you hold the Wiimote sideways like this, right? And what it is like as you race, you turn it to race, and you can do like jumps and stuff like that. But when you're in the air, you can like move the controller in certain ways to flip your car around and make it do tricks and stuff like that. And you can get like air and do 720s and all this stuff to get points, and you can get like speed boost or whatever. But like what I love about this particular game too is that when you're in the air, like as you're about to hit the ground, you can take the controller and slam it into the ground, and you take the car will like slam down.
That's
and
awesome.
You get like extra bonus points, and you get like a boost. And I'm telling you, man, like when at first the games were it's awkward trying to get used to the controls because it's a Wii, and it seems like overly sensitive and it's hard to get used to. But once you get in the flow of this game and you like really get into it, it is insanely fun. Insane. You can pretty much spend the whole like time on some of the levels just like in the air doing like never ending combos, just like flying through the air, like, and then one jump off to another jump after another jump. And I don't know, it is super addicting. And and that power up you just got makes you invincible, so that like you pretty much can't crash when you have that. So you can like run through the trees and like jump off like weird cliffs that you normally wouldn't get to, and like explore different ways to go throughout the level, figure out new paths and stuff like that. So yeah, I know. And it seems just like a silly little truck game or something. When you see it, it doesn't, like when you look at the cover, it's not like screaming like, oh my god, this is a great game or whatever. But I cannot say enough how fun this game is. And it's definitely going to be exclusive to either the Wii or the Wii U. It's never going to, with that control scheme.
Yeah, it's definitely a unique game experience too. That's one thing that I think is overlooked and kind of underappreciated. When all those different controllers that you can get. Like I got like a Star Wars lightsaber that you can put the Wiimote in.
Yeah,
you got all kind of stuff like that just makes it like a unique game experience, and just honestly makes it fun. Like even what you were just saying about those control functions and stuff like that. Like if you're really like into gaming and you just want to try different ways to game, like that's definitely interesting. To try something like that, especially on a Wii with those controls. Once you get used to them, because getting used to them, that's a whole nother ball game. It's gonna take some time, but it'll be fun.
Yeah. And then if you're not, I mean, most of the people who watch the show are probably pretty hardcore into games, to be real. But if you are casual and you're not familiar with the Wii, just so you know, there's like regular Wii controllers, and then there's Wii Motion Plus controllers that are significantly better and more accurate.
Yeah.
So if you are getting a Wii or you plan on playing Wii and you're not used to it or whatever, you want to make sure that you're getting the Motion Plus controllers because your experience will be a lot better than if you don't use
Absolutely.
those.
Highly recommend controllers from Nintendo. I would not go with third party at all.
Nope.
Don't even do it.
No, they're junk. I think when I very first got my Wii U, I bought like some cheapo ones just to play with some people, but it's super frustrating. And I particularly like the Wii for light gun games. That's like the real reason to me to have it. Not that they're technically light gun games. I mean, but I guess I don't know what to call them with HDMI, but the gun games, the shooting games or whatever. And yeah, it's like one of the only ways to still like have a decent experience with that since we've gone to HDMI.
Right.
There's new options now they've come out with for gun games and like that, and then some of them are cool or whatever. But like, I think the Wii actually does a really good job at it. I think it's pretty. Yeah. That's what I use mine the most for is playing like House of the Dead. I really like was it Ghost Squad, I think it's called. Super fun game. There's a lot of them on the system.
Yes.
Wicked good time. And then God, I should have got my little gun con things, but like I have the Nyko Perfect Shots. Are you familiar with those?
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
It's basically what it does is it takes your Wiimote and puts it into like a pistol and gives you like a trigger to use to fire. And I highly recommend getting something like that for light gun games.
Yeah. I still want to try Call of Duty using that. I think that'd be like insane.
I haven't tried Call of Duty, but they do have so for Call of Duty, I would use like the shoulder one probably. They have the big white shoulder holder things or whatever, and then you can get the because those ones work with a nunchuck, so that way you have the analog too for Call of Duty. Yeah, so something like that would work decently. But yeah, I haven't tried like those motion controls. I just use the light guns, but like I don't know. Have you ever tried any of the games like that with the gun?
No, not yet. I did have plans to do it because it's a bunch of different options. Like I know there's a big box version of one of the Cabela hunting games that comes with like one of those big rifles. So it's like I kind of want to try those out with the different ones, and even with the one you were mentioning earlier, just trying different ones to see what actually works and to really get a nice experience about it, because it's probably, that might be like a hidden gem. I think that would be awesome. Me being a big Call of Duty fan, like to kind of act it out. Like I think that'll be kind of cool to be able to squeeze the trigger and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean,
like
I got
action a little bit.
I got the sharpshooter for the PS3. Pretty much the same thing because the PS3 has that controller.
Yeah,
so
I got that too. Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, it does have an appeal to it. I just have never tried that particular Wii one. Here's a real question: how many Wii Fit boards do you have?
That's a Black Ranger trivia game, by the way. I have one. I have one that I haven't pulled out, but if I ever feel like I just want to have like 10, I'll just go to Goodwill out here.
So what they should have done is they should have brought back like the NES track and field, and you should have been able to like hook up like 10 Wii Fit boards together and play like that way or something like that, and have like a sitting.
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
that would have been awesome. Yeah, I could see that being, nice party game.
Now, another thing about the Wii that a lot of people I don't think talk about was that it had, in my opinion, like the best Nintendo store to buy retro games. The eShop or whatever it was called back then. I'm not even sure what the Wii Shop. I think this was called the Wii Shop, whatever. Man, you could just purchase the games for a small fee and download them onto your computer, and you owned them, and that was it. There was no subscription fee, and they were yours, and you could play with them anytime. And also, people like complain about the old controllers and stuff, but they did have regular controllers you could purchase for the Wii as well. Just like how
classic controller.
Yeah, like just like on the Switch, they have Joy-Cons, but you can also get a Pro controller. It's similar. It wasn't Pro, but they had like the classic ones you could use. And I
Yeah.
had a lot of good times playing with my Wii, just playing retro games on it. I thought it was a great system for that.
Yeah.
And also, like, if you are looking for like a really cheap way to get into like retro game modding, like you want a modded system, like some sort of like hacking, Wii is just like a really awesome option because you can get one for incredibly cheap. Like not just the console, you can get them for really cheap.
Yeah.
You can mod them very easily, super easy, and yeah, you can still do a lot with them. And you can put a lot of games on them and have a good time. They play a lot of games really well, so I wouldn't sleep on that if you are interested.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't sleep on it, and they definitely got some sleeper games that we talk about. Sleepers, like one of the best fighting games I've ever played. It's going to probably take me forever to find that game, but Tatsunoko versus Capcom. That game is unbelievably good. It's just even like the roster on there is different, and it's a really, really good game. And they actually have a fight stick for that for the Wii, for
That's cool.
the Tatsunoko versus Capcom game, and that's one of like legit one of the best fighting games I've ever played. Another standout game for that is the House of the Dead series. That's fun as hell to play. A lot of on rail games for the Wii. That's a very, very good console to do that for. But yeah, you definitely can get some really, really good gaming experiences. There's definitely some hidden gems where, for your hardcore gamers, if you really want to get into certain games, and a lot of those games are exclusive to the Wii. So, that'd kind of be your only way to experience some of that.
Yeah, there's I should have got footage for this game too. Another game that I really liked on the Wii was Dragon Quest Swords. I don't know if you remember that one.
Yeah. Yep.
So again, the Wii is one of those consoles, kind of like the DS too. It's like it's once you delve into the library, you're almost surprised at how many franchises had like a release on it that you weren't aware of.
Right. Exactly.
Like you're like, oh, I didn't realize this came out on this. I didn't realize there was this version of this game. I didn't realize that this even existed. Like on the Wii, there was a lot of that. Which I wonder why. I feel like maybe it was just bad advertising. I don't know. It's the Wii it's like a conundrum to me because at one point, like it's one of the most successful consoles of all time, best selling, but at the same time, I feel like it's one of the least people know the least about it, like or about the library. Like it's so popular, but also like I'm like, I don't know. There's just I don't know.
Yeah, I honestly think that's because it's like that console. I guess in a nutshell, when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, that was kind of like a casual gamers console. I think they really ran with that. Like pretty much anybody could pick up, especially like the Wii Bowling, Wii Sports and stuff. When that first came out, everybody had that, which is fun as hell. Like, but
hell yeah, I was just gonna say I love Wii Sports, man.
Yeah. So,
what was your favorite Wii Sport?
I think Wii Bowling because they have the Nintendo Switch version. I forgot what the hell it's called. It's called something. I think it's called like Switch Sports, but it's pretty much the same thing on the Switch. But yeah. Well, no, I like the boxing. Man, there's so many. I really, really like Wii
Tough
Sports.
choice.
Yeah, it really is. Cause I'm thinking about all the different ones. I know it's not joust, but when you're on the platform beam and you got to knock the other person off, like that game.
As the American Gladiators called it.
Yeah. But of course you're using the Wiimote, so you're active playing the game. And honestly, there's so many great games on that Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort, man, where you can literally play all day to this day.
I used to I loved Frisbee golf. God, I love that game. I don't know what it was, but the Frisbee game was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Wii was it was great for that sort of thing. But yeah, it was like a console that appealed to not gamers. It was a very interesting thing. So like it'd be great for family events and casual people who aren't into games all love the Wii, but like everybody who's like, I want to play Call of Duty, or something. It just wasn't. It wasn't
Yeah,
the console for them,
yeah, absolutely not. I would not get Call of Duty for the Wii. But they did have their games, like I said, that kind of was for gamers. Like Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 are fantastic games.
Yeah, they're
And
good.
they take full advantage of the Wii motion controls. But
Mhm.
all the shovelware, I felt like they just like, okay, we're making a lot of money. We're just gonna gear it more towards the casual gamers. But they got some stuff in there for some of the hardcore gamers, man. So it's definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, that's definitely. I look forward to years worth of hidden gems videos coming out of that library. So
Man,
it's up to you, Marcus. You've bought them all. Now you need to play them all and share with us the knowledge so that I can buy the 100 games that I want.
it might end up being more than that, but yeah, not a lot of people, for
Mhm.
one, have the collection, and two, not too many people are the ones that do. I don't think they've gone into much detail. I want to really like dive into the library and break it down, and get the Wii some love, because there's definitely some people out there, and I got a feeling that its time is coming where it's going to be hugely sought after,
Mhm.
and they're going to have their own like cult collectors. Like I got a feeling it's going to be, they're going to have their time, especially, hopefully I'm a big part of that. And I'm able to, like you said, really like break those down. I need to get to streaming. I want to start streaming once my work schedule changes. And
Mhm.
I might do something like legit, like start streaming every weekend and like
That'll be
putting
awesome.
some legit time into it, and really, I really want to break this library down, like, play those games and not, that people don't know about. Nobody bats an eye at Wii games except for like the really pricey ones, So
That's how it always starts. That's how it
yes,
always starts. But then those ones that weren't so pricey become mid tier pricey, and then that's when it all goes. How hell breaks loose.
yes,
Once
very
the
true.
$10 games start to become $50, then all of a sudden it just starts to snowball out of control.
Yeah,
I still can't believe what happened with Xbox in the last like month or two. It's just gotten crazy. So
yeah. It's funny that you talk about that. I was talking to some friends that own the retro game store, and they were like, "We're not diving into that," because he thinks that it's going to crash hard, and people are like
oh yeah,
overpaying right now for that 360.
I agree. It's the same thing that happened to 3DS for a while.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
3DS went like nuts,
Hmm.
and some games stayed pretty high, but a lot have come down since they
Yeah.
were since the fever for sure. Once they shut down the store, I've seen some games that were going for like 120 down. They're going down for like to like $80 again, $70. It comes down quick. So
Yeah, it's like when you think about it, that's kind of been the case with like a lot of things, other than the games that kind of come out right away. Like I feel like one game in particular, like the Armored Core games, I feel like they automatically like shoot up in price and they stay there. But
mhm.
everything else over time kind of drops. If you notice, like everything just over time, especially in regards to if it's like a Nintendo IP, they're probably going to put it out on the next console. You probably
Mhm.
guarantee it. So it was like, when they came out with 3D All Stars, uh Super Mario Galaxy was Super Mario Sunshine was like $100 and it went down. Now it's like 30-40 bucks again. So it's like, if you're patient, unless you really want it, I would not go and jump on that bandwagon, especially when you probably still can find things in Goodwill before, everybody goes and try to buy them up. But yeah, I would not. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Mm,
It's
no.
you'll be spending a lot more money than what's necessary.
Yeah, I don't recommend collecting anything that's on fire expensive. I always like me and Reg talk about this a lot too. It's like anytime like if 360 is really hot right now, I'm
Hmm.
buying PS3, man. I'm buying the
Yeah.
other thing. If 3DS is on fire, I'm getting PSP.
Hmm.
If PSP is on fire, I'll check out how Vita's doing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like I'm always trying to get not that anything is cheap anymore, but I'm always trying to go for just what's not the flavor of the moment.
Yeah.
And
That.
right now, to me, that's still that's PS4 right now. Still is like it's just this is prime time PS4 time, and I guess
Mhm.
it's Switch time too. But
Yeah,
Switch time just means you can get them before they get more expensive. They're not gonna get cheaper. You're not gonna get deals. But
yeah. It's like I wouldn't say I'm going for a complete set because I imagine that list is outrageous, but I do get Switch whenever I get them, like especially with the Walmart deals. Like I probably got close to 20 games for that whole thing. So anytime I get a chance to get Switch games, I pick them up. And and you were talking about when certain consoles are hot as far as games are concerned, you go the other direction. That was kind of my idea with the Wii, where I was just like, all right, because I would definitely love to get GameCube because that's kind of well, all of Nintendo as a whole
Mhm.
over the years, it's kind of sentimental value to me. So I just love all of it, which is why I kind of started only collecting Nintendo. So I would like to eventually try to go after a set of each because it's actually not that many, but overall it's a lot of games, but it's not that many. When you start breaking down whole collections. Um,
Mhm.
so when the GameCube started catching fire like that, and thankfully I had my Wii U set already. That's why I went with the Wii. And so I've been kind of contemplating what I'm going to do next. Um, I'm thinking either Game Boy, but then
Mhm.
I'm also really, really getting into the Nintendo Powers. I think I really want that set. I think I
Yo,
really, really want that set, like big time, man. Like
preaching to the choir about the magazines. That's been
I'm
my
telling you, man.
that's been my side obsession for quite a while. I've been having just as much fun getting magazines than I have been getting games lately. So
Yeah, I'm interested how that would translate to creating content, but I think it could because the more I look into, especially like the first issue, um, the amount of auctions, like they are available. There's plenty of them available. You just kind of
Mhm.
like take your pick of the litter or whatever condition that you can find in it. But every auction ends like over $100. It's insane how many people like really just like love Nintendo Power Magazine. I knew how much that meant to me as a kid, so that's definitely on my radar. It's kind of like a side quest.
Well, this is exactly a perfect thing. Well,
Yeah,
everybody's paying $100 per magazine for the Nintendo Powers. I'm over here buying PlayStation magazines for $5.
but you know what though? I
Let's
that
go.
that's one of those things too. Eventually, I think that
Mhm.
that's going to be something that's going to catch a lot
Sure,
of people's eyes too. Yeah, it's going
agreed.
to have its time.
I feel like PlayStation collectors are 3 years behind Nintendo trends.
Yeah.
Like it's like when I got the bulk of my PlayStation collection, like I got like a lot of it and not all of it, but I got a big chunk of it in one big deal. It was a
Hmm.
Nintendo collector who was just like, I don't want his PlayStation poop. And this was just like back when people just weren't really looking at PlayStation.
Hmm.
Like, and like I traded him some of my Nintendo stuff, which he did good too because all the stuff I traded him was good stuff and it went up in value. I traded him like, oh man, I had like the Twilight Princess Wii U with the Amiibo collector's edition. I traded him that.
Oh
Traded
yeah,
him
awesome.
a 3DS Link to the Past XL like in the box, grape
Oh
shape.
wow,
Like yeah,
man,
so
that sells for a
yeah,
nice
so that's what
amount.
I'm saying. So I'm sure it was the perfect deal because I sit there and go, damn, I kind of wish I hadn't traded that. But I'm sure he looks and he goes, damn, I wish I hadn't traded that guy that stuff.
Uh,
So it's a perfect deal. We're
yeah.
both happy and we're both a little upset about it. So that's the perfect deal, man. That's how
And
it
how
should
long
be.
ago was that trade? Was that?
Oh, this was like 2015,
Oh my God, yeah, he
16.
made out those
Something.
Zelda. Any 3DS console is
Mm.
expensive, but those ones, oh my God,
Hmm.
like those Zelda ones are like $500-600 or more,
Hmm.
easy. That's crazy.
Do you guys think PS5 collecting will become a thing or not? I do. Yeah.
I think everything has its turn, you know.
Hmm. I do. So I think we're approaching the end of physical media, period,
Hmm.
and so it'll all be collectible. Like I say, and on a long enough timeline. Now, whether you're talking like in our lifetimes, will it be relevant? Maybe, maybe not. I
Hmm.
don't know. And also, I don't know. It could be one of those things too. Like once our generation's all gone, nobody gives a crap about this stuff. It's like people who collect vintage toys.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like there are people who like to collect toys from like the 30s and the 40s and stuff like
Right.
that.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff's got a lot of value to those people because that's what older people who played with that stuff when they were kids. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? But like that stuff has no value to our generation.
Yeah, they don't care.
We don't give a shite about any of
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah.
So you tell me that this little toy's worth $5,000, I go, yeah, if you say so. I don't
Right.
give a crap. You ain't getting $5,000 from me. So I feel like that's gonna be when it could be something like that too. I don't know. I think games might be different though, because no matter it's not like I guess toys you can play with too. Maybe it's not the best analogy, but anybody can play a game and enjoy it from now to the end of time. Like I don't think there's going to be ever a generation of people that play Mario and they don't think that's fun.
Yeah,
that's fun.
And that's the thing. Video games kind of touched so many different generations, no matter where it is. You got people that grew up with Atari that they love Atari. They die hard Atari. You got your Sega fans. You got your PlayStation fans. So, I think I'm more concerned about I guess the collectors. You probably going to get some here and there, and even though we look at it like it's a lot of us, in theory it's not. So it's like it's only going to get smaller and less people are going to collect. I try to tell my kids now, like, to hang on to their stuff. They're big into wrestling, so they got like action figures, which that's an insane market too. Wrestling figure. Wrestling is nuts. So it's like, yeah, hang on to these. Like, don't break them up. Because people definitely they went up in price. It's crazy what they're paying for wrestling figures. So, I think there'll be a couple people keeping it alive, hopefully.
Yeah, I have almost I guess I call it nerd envy sometimes, that I'm just like, I don't have enough time in my life to learn about all the things that I would like.
Right.
Like I would love to learn more about wrestling. I just don't know and I don't have the time. And but I like it and I watch it when I can. And I like anime, but I'm not an anime expert. And I wish I had more time to watch thousands of episodes and to get caught up and learn more. But I just kind of can't. And comics, same thing. I like comics, but I don't know that much about comics. And so I always feel like when people who really into comics are talking, I'm like, man, I wish I knew what the hell they were talking about. I wish I could participate because I am interested. I just am like, I don't know. I like Batman.
It's funny that you say that because I was trying to get back into Pokemon cards. I just remember the initial Pokemon trend, when I was 11. So the 151 was the original Pokemon cards, or the original Pokemon coming back out. So it became crazy. So I'm like, yeah. So I ended up getting all these packs and stuff. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I don't know what's good anymore. So I ended up selling the majority of them. It's crazy what price I got for. I don't know how many cards I had. I had a ton, but the store picked out probably less than 100, and I got $200 for those cards. It was Jesus, but I wouldn't know. So me opening packs is other than a holographic card. Oh my god, look at this! And dude, that card's worth $4. It's okay. I don't know the difference, man. So
that's how I feel about Magic. That's exactly how I feel about Magic. It's I played Magic in 2001 was the last time. I don't know how long it's been. And so people are like, you like Magic? I'm like, I used to. I couldn't tell you anything about what it's like now, or if I like it. I have no clue. I couldn't tell you. It's hard to say. So
yeah, one set of cards I didn't know was I didn't even know they had cards, but I was noticing a lot of game stores picking up cards and selling them. But One Piece has cards. Anime show. And
surprise me.
A couple people were coming in there looking for One Piece cards, and I'm like, I had no idea. So it's definitely so many nerd trends that people don't know about, or you might be interested in. But I was like, I like sneakers and I like video games, and that takes enough money. I don't need any more side hobbies.
Dude, that's how I feel about lots of stuff. I'm like, man, I could get really into that, but I'm like, I don't got space. I don't got time. I don't got money.
It's no, don't do it.
I like sneakers too. I could totally get into that. I like I like guitars, man. I could that alone, I could go bankrupt. I could literally I could fill this room with guitars and spend like $60,000-$70,000.
Yeah, very easy. That's the case with anything.
No, but we're not going to do that. You know what we are going to do?
What we're gonna do?
It's quiz time, baby.
That-
Oh yeah. You ready for
quiz
this?
time. I'm ready. I think.
Black Ranger was
gonna be.
talking some smoke about this in the chat, so you
He
better.
was talking trash.
I mean, let's just see how we see how it goes. You know what I'm saying? So it's just it's a little easier just because it's a one person quiz. So these are all going to be just true or false questions. Each one of these, and they're sort of all Nintendo themed. But before I forget, because I am the best host there ever was, we have a chat question, and I'm actually going to show it because I am the best host who never forgets to show the chat question. I don't know if I've mentioned that. So this is not for you, Marcus. This is for the chat. And chat, you want to guess the name of this game based on these two pictures. Now, I know that this looks like your Tinder profiles, guys, but it's not. It's a question. It's a game. So you need to name that game. And hopefully I remember to check the chat because I think last time I did this, somebody got it right, and I don't even think I mentioned it.
Oh my god!
I don't even think I went back and said anything. So whoever got it correct last time, congratulations. That was very good. I'm impressed.
I'm curious to know what it is. I have an idea, but I'm not sure.
All right. Well, we'll let the people think. They can guess afterwards.
Okay.
So me and you, we got true or false questions. All right. So question number 1. Wii U, The Devil's Third, is the only game in this franchise. Is that true or false?
True.
And the answer is false.
Oh,
there's
God.
An online multiplayer only version for Windows called Devil's Turds Online.
Oh
it was released in Japan in June 2016. So this is a trick question because it wasn't a physical release. Apparently, it was an online only Japanese exclusive. Did you not live in Japan in 2016?
No, I didn't.
Oh, that's probably why
I
you did it, right? That's all right. Next time.
I should have known that.
let me just say, these quizzes are way better when I ask the questions than when I have to answer them. They're much easier.
Added pressure. It's just me. No big deal.
Dude. All right, question 2. According to Nintendo Power Magazine, Volume 10, a power-up where Mario transforms into a centaur was originally planned to be in Super Mario Brothers 3. True or false?
I'm not sure, but that sounds so insane and typical of Nintendo. I'm gonna say true.
That is true. Well done.
That's crazy. That'd be insane to see.
I mean, apparently it was planned. Centaurio, what do we call it? Centaurio.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
They're gonna do it. They're gonna do it.
So it was the same as the firepower, except for the fireballs coming out of his nose. It was like horse turds coming out of his ass.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That's why I'm assuming that's why I didn't make it in.
That's insane. Yeah, that would have been a bad idea.
Anyway, the SNES Complete in Box Earthbound in the PAL region is 2 times cheaper than the ESRB. Is that true or false?
True.
It's false.
What? Power Region's always cheaper.
There is no PAL region version of Earthbound. It was a trick
Jesus.
question. Yo,
That's
Pavel's,
terrible.
I think my Russian Pavel was in a bad mood when he made these.
He's killing me. He's embarrassing.
There was no PAL region. It was yeah. I don't. Maybe there was a Japanese release, but it didn't get released in PAL. So, question 4: Mario Kart, Arcade GP, and its sequels are not directly developed by Nintendo, but they were developed by Bandai Namco. Is that true or false?
I believe that's true.
That is true, sir. You are correct. Well done.
Thank you.
Gotta be honest, that would be a pretty big flex if you had one of these.
Dude,
That'd be pretty big flex.
Man, that would
You
be
want to play some Mario
insane.
Party? Be like, sure, Mario Kart. Yeah. And then you have one of these.
Well,
I don't know.
Yeah, we ain't picking up controllers for this one, baby. That would be awesome.
Yeah, but I feel like I might throw elbows if I get hit by a turtle shell. If I was this close to people, it's better to play online, you know?
Yeah. No.
You guys don't throw elbows when you play Mario Kart? No, I'm the only one.
Gotcha.
Hey, my niece has got to learn somehow, you know what I'm saying? Question number 5. The Tyrannosaurus from where? Okay, hold on. Let me try this again. The Tyrannosaurus roar from the 1957 The Land Unknown movie was used in Game Boy Advanced Metroid Zero Mission and used in SNES Super Metroid.
Oh my God. Came up with these questions. Jesus. Oh my God.
You don't remember 1957's classic film The Land Unknown?
Yeah, that was
You didn't watch that
20,
this week?
almost 30 years before I was born.
I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix.
I'm gonna look forward tonight. I don't know.
Man.
Again, I'm gonna trust my
You got
gut.
a 50-50 chance. True or false?
Yeah,
True or
it's
false?
so
True or
weird.
True or false?
I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say it's true.
You are correct, sir. Very
You know,
nice.
that's the faith
Very
in
nice.
Nintendo and their weirdness. It's working.
So far we got 3 correct, 2 incorrect. We're positive, buddy. Keep it up. Halfway through and you're winning. We're doing it.
Before we finish, do I have the same amount of questions that Black Ranger had?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna beat his score anyway because he sucks. So
If you want, I could just add 10 points to your score at the end randomly for no reason. There's no rules here. That'll make him just mad, and he'll just have to come back on to try to beat you. It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
Maybe I just need you guys to get both of you guys on it. We can do a little head to head.
That'll work. That'll be awesome.
100 questions. Be like 3 hours. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh
That's terrible. I wouldn't even want to set that up. I'd quit the show. Screw that. It takes forever putting all these pictures in there, man. Question number 6. All 12 characters from N64 Super Smash Brothers were voiced by the same voice actor. Is that true or false?
Let's go with true.
It's false.
See, that's the thing. Like, Nintendo's so weird. I just want to bank on them being weird and doing stuff that you just wouldn't expect.
Never bank on trusting my Russian friend. That's all I'm telling you. It's not a good idea. He's here to fool you.
I see.
Remember, it's like that movie. Have you ever seen Memento where the guy has the tattoos? He's like, do not trust him. He tells lies. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things you have to. All right, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. You're probably like, what the fuck?
I don't think I see it. Yeah, look it up.
All right, it's a good movie. You should see it. It's called Memento. I would explain it, but it's fucking confusing. What am I doing here? Question 7. Wii Sports Mario Edition was a Japanese exclusive version of this game. True or false? Remember, you were living in Japan, 2016. You remember? You were there with your that woman. What's her name? Hatsuki.
Yeah.
That fine honey. You were playing Wii Sports. Was it regular or was it a Mario edition? You were on your You were on your Wii Fit board together.
I'm going to say that is false.
It is false. That's some bullshit. That's some bullshit. He's trying to trick you again.
He did.
There's no Mario edition. There's no basement in the Alamo. What are you talking about? Nice.
Jeez.
Well done, sir. Impressive. I want to know. These are tricky. That's you know what I mean. There could easily be a Mario edition. I mean, that's totally plausible. Okay, this is the Street Fighter promo poster for the NES. Wait a minute. Yeah, okay, yeah. So that's the question. It's kind of blurred out so you can't see it. But is this true or false, the Street Fighter promo poster for the NES?
No. False.
This is another tricky one.
Oh my God.
It is true, but it's not true.
Kind of true.
It is. It's not. I mean, it is. I mean, is this a Street Fighter? I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I feel like Pavel was mad today when he made the quiz. He's like, I'm gonna trick this motherfucker.
He's good at his job.
He is good. You know what? I just added up all the math, and it looks like you are still victorious. It's a one-player quiz. You can't lose.
Still did better than you, Black Ranger.
That's right. I don't know what the scores were. We'll have to compare. I'll have to make like a little short with you guys together. So I don't freaking know.
That'd be funny.
All right, so let me check real quick. Did the anybody get the quiz? Let's check it out. Doritos, no. Nobody got it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and show it one more time. This is the quiz question. Chat question. That's right. I could make so many inappropriate jokes right now.
Oh my God, I'm sure.
I don't want to get Figsy's channel canceled while he's not here.
Yeah, that's not good. I kind of feel like I know where you will be headed. So we'll keep that up here.
I have so many names for this game that I can't say. Oh dear Lord. Oh goodness. All right. Anyway. Whew. Time for some pickups. I'm gonna show off some pickups. I'm gonna show some pickups, and then I'm assuming you have some stuff from your Wii collection you'd like to show off as well.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, I'll run through mine first, just because they'll be quick. Okay, so first two things that I got since last episode was I got 2 more Evercade cartridges.
Sweet.
So I picked up Good Boy Galaxy and Witch and Whiz. This is like a combination pack of 2 like indie games. I don't think these have a physical release on any other platform. I could be wrong, but I think these are physically exclusive to the Evercade. I wouldn't be surprised if they had digital releases on the eShop or something like that, but I think this is the only physical copy of these games, but I could be wrong. So that was pretty tempting.
Cool.
This one, I ordered because it looked really cool, and you know how cool it is I actually already own it. I went to
On
go
the
put it.
Evercade?
Yeah. I went to go put it in the collection, and I looked and I was like, God damn it! So I did it again. So this is one that I actually already own. Now I have a second copy. So who knows? Maybe I'll do a giveaway. Maybe we'll do that for the chat question. Not today though. You'll have. All right. So there's a new rule. Whoever gets 187 questions correct. This is yours. And you can't miss a single episode. You have to get it's got to be consecutive. You got to get 187 correct, and it's got to be in a row. So if you're on 186, someone else gets it. No game. So I'm a generous host. What can I say?
Challenges out there, guys.
Anyway, I don't know. Did I show this off last time? I don't know if I did. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. But remember we had Mike from Bitmap Bureau Games on the show the other day, and I had no idea that they were involved in the creation of this game, 88 Heroes. So that was the company that made Xenocrisis, Final Vendetta, and Battle Axe. And I guess this was like their first release that they worked on. It's called 88 Heroes. It was put out by Rising Star Games, but they were the ones who actually made it as Bitmap Bureau. If you look right there on the back. And yeah, it's pretty cool. It's like a 2D action game. And the whole idea is there are like 88 different unique heroes that you could get. They all have different skills and abilities. And depending on who you get, could be good, could be bad. It looks fun. Cheap. Wasn't a lot of money. I think I bought it brand new for like 14, 15 bucks, something like that. So,
awesome.
So like again, this is why I like PS4. I think it's a great time to collect for the PS4 because there's a lot of games that are decent games that are just super cheap right now.
Absolutely.
Speaking of amazing games, I picked up Larry, the Wet Dreams Saga.
Oh my God.
So this is hold on, let me put this back. Yeah. There we go. So this it's a little preview of the game. This is a point and click adventure game. This is Leisure Suit Larry. If you're familiar with it, this is kind of what you can expect. It's a super mature game about this guy from the 70s. I think he's like frozen in time and he gets released back in the future or some shit like that. And he's trying to like meet chicks, basically. It's a stupid game, but it's super fun. I've always had like a soft spot for these games. I've been playing Leisure Suit Larry games since like the 90s. I've like literally like this was like back in the day, getting to play one of these games when you were a kid was like a real big deal. Like this was a very, very inappropriate thing you were not supposed to do. And so, of course, that was like my number one goal in life was to do that thing because I wasn't supposed to. Yeah. And so I just always liked these games. And, you know, these ones they don't have like the highest critical acclaim or whatever. But they're fun and they're stupid. And you should be fun and have stupid fun sometimes. And just that's it. Like, you know what? And if anybody wants to shame you for liking stupid, fun, immature crap like that, tell them to go to hell. Seriously. Tell them to go to hell.
The game looks awesome. It looks awesome.
It's 2 games in one. So what it is it's why it's called the Saga is it's 2 games. It's Wet Dreams Don't Dry and also Wet Dreams Dry Twice. This is a brand new release, this ESRB copy. These have never been released in the ESRB previously. They do have standalone releases in PAL. So you can buy both games separately as standalone releases, which I already own them, the PAL versions. But once they came out as a combo, I had to have it. And if you guys do want this is available at Video Games Plus. I think I'm not sure if it's exclusive to them, but I think it might be. I think they might be the only ones selling this copy. So yeah, if you're a man of culture, check it out.
The game for you.
Speaking of being a man of culture, so I got these games, There's actually a trilogy, so I'm missing one. But these are the oh god, man, I've been practicing this in my head all day. Uta shit. Utawara Ramino. You got me. That word. See that word? See that word? Utawara Ramino.
Yeah, somebody clip this part. This is gonna be a great short.
Shut up. Hold on. I gotta do the accent. Utaramino. No, see that's now I got it. So anyway, this is a trilogy. This is the first one. It's called Prelude to the Fallen. And this is the last one. It's called The Mask of Truth. And in between these, there's another game called The Mask of Deception. And basically what these games are is these are strategy RPG games that are also like heavily like sort of like visual novels. So the entire story is told through like a visual novel medium, and the gameplay itself is a strategy RPG, like a grid-based strategy RPG. What it is this is an anime series, and it takes place in like a feudal Japan, but it's like a magical feudal Japan where they're like people that are like animal hybrids, kind of like a furry vibe thing going on, I guess, sort of. But that's not the focus of it. It's more like classical storytelling about like feudal Japan or whatever, that sort of thing. And it's like one continuous story. Everyone says it's fantastic. Everyone says the characters are great. I haven't played them yet, but I've just been eyeballing them for a while. They're pretty expensive, and they seem to be getting more and more expensive as time goes on. I just don't see these being super cheap, but at the same time, I could see, well, I don't know. These are NIS games. Does VG yeah, they do NIS games. So I don't know. This could get reprinted in the future and be super cheap or something. So, I don't know. But like either way, I think it's a quality series. I think the games are good. And it's like a good anime. So I think that'll have some crossover appeal from people who follow the anime that might want to pick these up. And then the last thing I'll mention is there are two other games in this series called the oh my god, that word, and then Zan at the end of it. And basically what those are is they're like a abridged version of the Mask of Deception and Mask of Truth games, but they're like action RPG games. They're like more like Hyrule Warriors or like Dynasty Warriors type games or whatever.
I love those.
And they have a much like briefer story or whatever. So from what I can tell, most people say that you want to play these first, and then if you really like the games, you can go play those too. But as far as I can tell, only there's two of them. There's Zan 1 and Zan 2. I think Zan 1 is the only one that has English because it was the only one that got released in the West. Zan 2 only got released in Japan. And I am not sure if it has English. It might. I can't confirm or deny. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But I do know that the only release for it is in Japan. So concerns me. So I don't know. I might get those. I'm not a huge Dynasty Warriors style game player. Like I don't really enjoy those games for the most part. Hyrule Warriors was kind of amusing. I wouldn't mind trying the Persona one, maybe Strikers or whatever it's called, but I don't know. There's just not my cup of tea in general.
Yeah.
And then got a couple more things. So I picked up another PlayStation magazine.
Awesome.
Speaking of which, we were talking about earlier. Yeah, so this is the Final Fantasy VIII cover. Really nice condition. It's got like no tears in it. Perfect shape. This is also the newsstand version, so it's got no name on it. These are the ones that I prefer to collect. I like the ones with nothing on them, with nobody's name or whatever, unless it's mine. Yeah, I got my personal copies when I was a kid that have my name on them. Those are fine, but I don't like. It's just weird when I own them and it's like Hank's. Who the fuck's Hank? I don't know, it's just not as cool. And then this particular one, I don't feel like taking it out because I'm lazy, but there's a poster in it for like a ninja game. So if you are looking to get this copy and you want to like check it, you want to make sure the poster's in here because that's the difference between being like complete or incomplete, I suppose you would say. So this one I will take out because this one's kind of neat. So this one, I got a really good deal on it. I've seen this one. People ask a decent amount of money for it because it's got like a couple things that are usually missing. So this is the PlayStation Magazine Tomb Raider 3 cover one.
Sweet. That looks awesome too.
It is. And what's really funny is I remember saying like one of the quiz questions was for this game. And I'm like, I've seen that a million times before in magazines, and it's probably because of this magazine. It was advertised super heavily in PlayStation Magazine, but this Unholy War game, this was a quiz question last week. So that made me laugh when I got this in the mail. And I'm like, hey, look, it's that game. That's so funny. But the reason... So this one's got a couple fold-outs in it, which that's not the end of the world, but it comes with a lid sticker. And these are like kind of hard to find in good shape, the magazines that have these still. So what that is that's a sticker that comes off that goes on top of a PlayStation 1 lid. So you remember like the old gray PlayStations, that circular lid that
okay, that's awesome. Yeah,
that's what these are for. These are for, you're supposed to peel them off and put them on your PS1. And so like most of the time they're missing because people they took them off and they put them on there. So if you look when you're collecting these magazines, a lot of them they will have like a little advertising saying there's a lid sticker, and you always want to ask if there's a lid sticker or if it's complete. So that's the difference between having it being like, you're like, why is this one so cheap? Because it's probably missing the lid sticker.
that's
and then
awesome.
Also, this one comes with this particular page, which is like this page of perforated cards for that game, Unholy War. So these are all like cardboard cards with like perforations, and you can like bend them and rip them out and take them out or whatever. So this magazine, this particular one in the collection, it's kind of I've seen it. People ask more money for it just because it has both of those things. But I just got particularly lucky. This person didn't seem to know or care or whatever. So I got this one and I got that other one in a bundle together for like incredibly cheap. So I was extremely pleased because there's not that many more of these that I need. So it's pretty exciting when I see them and they're in good shape and they're a good price.
Yeah,
really
definitely.
exciting.
I can imagine. That's awesome.
Yeah, but I can imagine if I keep talking about these on the podcast, it's not going to last. So eventually people are going to be like, those are cool. I'm going to start getting them. It's all over.
Yep, exactly. That's how it works.
And then I got one more thing. This is kind of a random pickup. But yeah, I'll explain. So I picked up a Meta Quest 2.
Okay.
So I got this for a couple reasons. First off, they're on sale. These are only $199.99 right now. They're like $200, and that's a pretty cheap deal to get into these. This is not like the newest unit. There's a Quest 3. There's a Quest Pro. This is kind of like an older one. They're just like phasing out the older stock, but it's still really nice. And like for $200, I think it's a really good like price point to get into VR if you've never played with it and you just want to check it out. I specifically bought this for two reasons. The first is I bought it for Beat Saber because I want to mod my game. So I want to get custom songs and I want to be able to put in like custom swords or whatever. And I would like to eventually figure out how to like stream and get my damn Twitch chat to appear in the headset, which you can do all these things with this device. I've been told. So I particularly got it for that. Okay. But the real reason I got it is I don't know if you guys have followed this drama. Is my PSVR 2 is dead again for the fifth time. Fifth time since I bought it. I bought a PSVR 2 when it first came out, ordered it day one, got it day one. And every month to 3 months or so, it just completely stops working. And all the it like, and it's like I'm not dropping it or kicking it or playing football with it. Nothing. Literally, all I do with it is I play Beat Saber with it. I put it on, I play Beat Saber for an hour, and I put it away in a nice case. Never drop it. Take very good care of my stuff. I'm not a kid, and it just always the same thing. One day I just put it on, and it just doesn't work anymore. It either just stops turning on all by itself. It just will not turn on. It just will like power cycle over and over again, or it'll turn on and then it'll play for 2 seconds, and then the camera tracking just goes and just goes crazy, and then the game shuts down and over and over again. And it's happened to me like I said, this is the 5th headset I've had to return to Sony. And so I'm like beyond done with PSVR 2. Like I am so all set with it. I'm not trying to discourage people from enjoying it or purchasing it. If you like it or want it or have it, go out and knock yourself out. I think if you're a casual VR player, it's going to be a great experience for you. Like if you just want to play Resident Evil, you know, sure. But if you're like somebody who's like actually interested in VR seriously and wants to put like a couple 100 hours into a headset, maybe play some Beat Saber, I cannot recommend the headset. It's just not durable enough. I just think the design quality is just too cheap. I mean, end of story. It's just not good enough.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, I'm not mad about it. I'm shipping it back to Sony again, and they're going to send me a repaired one again. But this time I'm like, I'm never playing Beat Saber with it again. Like I don't think it can handle it. So I'll use it for, you know, horror games, stuff like that. Stuff that's like low impact, that doesn't make you, maybe, because I don't know, it could be me too. Maybe I'm just like the sweatiest bastard in the world, and I can't, it's just my fault. Like maybe it's just me. I'm just like I don't know. Maybe maybe I dance too much when I play Beat Saber. Maybe that's my problem because I get into it. But I can't help it. That's just fucking get you
So
going,
they haven't
man.
give you any type of explanation of what they think it might be, or
no, they don't talk to you or say anything. They just ship you a new headset. They don't even know. Like literally, the first time I shipped it to them, it was such a new product. They didn't even have instructions on their website relevant to the PSVR 2. It was all about the PSVR 1. They were like, "Oh, you have a problem? Well, make sure you ship back your box connector and your cable." This, and I'm like, none of that even exists on PSVR 2, idiots. What are you trying to tell me to do here? Like, that's not even a thing.
That's nuts.
So, yeah, I don't know.
It's unfortunate.
I don't know. It's just I'm unlucky. It is what it is. I don't know. What are you gonna do? So yeah, you got some stuff to show off?
Yeah, I saw some Wii stuff. Since we are talking about Wii, I'm gonna show, I guess, some of the, more rare games, more expensive titles. So we'll start with American Mensa Academy, which is obviously an educational game. They have this on the 3DS, but I believe this one is rare and expensive because there was a limited amount of copies made. You saw that price. That was a couple years ago. I think it's still lingering around the price. Thankfully, I did a big trade early on. I did the right thing. I had some. I came up on some really, really expensive SNES games in a cheap bundle. So I had like Chrono Trigger and stuff to trade. So I got like $1,000 worth of Wii games. So I was like,
trading,
you know what?
It's all about, man.
I was like, I could come back to these because I was like, my thought process was to get the more expensive titles first. So, you know,
Smart.
I was like, I'll do these trades. Next is Last Story. This is a great game. I haven't got a chance to play it, but a lot of people talk.
Except we said earlier that was like their favorite game.
Yeah, they speak very highly of this game. This one around 100. Actually, went down in price. A couple years ago, it was about $100. It's probably can get it for like 70 now. So, next game, one of the games that I got initially with that big trade was Klonoa. Klonoa just seems to be expensive no matter what console you get it on. It's $120. They actually came down in price as well.
Now, is that like its own version, or is that like a remake of the PS2 game? Like, what is
I
that?
believe it is a remake, if I remember right, because I ended up getting the one on the Switch.
Okay.
Or maybe the Switch is the remake of this one. I think.
I'm not sure. I don't think it's a standalone game. I do think it's some sort of HD-ified version or something.
Yeah, it's something like that. I have to do some more research on it, but yeah, I mean, you don't see too many Klonoa games anyway.
Nope.
So this next game, I got this off a trade, thank God, because it's $300 game, and they have I guess, a big box version, but this is extremely rare, extremely expensive. It actually includes an exercise bike. It's his cyber bike. I believe this is on PlayStation too, right? On
Yeah,
PlayStation 3?
yeah. PS3
Yeah,
has the version.
yeah.
Figsy, we've talked about it. Figsy had that bike for a while for PS3.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just realized it was on PS3 recently, and like the bike for the Wii goes for like $1,000. I probably guessed the PS3 is like way cheaper. This game was like $300. I got it for a trade, thankfully.
So I believe so I wish he was here to verify, but I'm pretty sure it was like one of those situations where that the physical game only came with the bike as like a bundle deal.
Okay.
So it's like extremely expensive to get either of them because you had to have both of them to get one or something like that.
That makes
So
sense.
like I don't know. I guess it's the game is harder to get than the bike because a lot of people will get the game and sell the bike.
Right. Yeah.
Because they just want the game or whatever.
Yeah.
It's cool though. It's cool. It's cool concept.
Kind of cool. I guess so.
Yeah, I like exercising games. I'm all. That's why I beat Saber. By the way, it's more for health reasons. I do it to stay healthy, man. Get my blood pumping.
That's definitely good. Up next was or is Metroid Prime Trilogy. I got the Steelbook edition. I got this at East Starland. I know East Starland's pretty popular online. They're like an hour away from me, so I drive down there a lot. And this was apparently it's like 3 versions. There's one obviously without the Steelbook. Then one is obviously the Steelbook, and then there's a Steelbook with a sleeve as well. So this one it's like $10 more or something. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I used to own that and I sold it. I wish I hadn't.
Yeah, that's like $100 game or so. I think it dropped a little bit from like 200 or something like that. Next is this was also an expensive game. I want to say this is a survival horror game. Fragile Dreams. This game was.
I've never heard of that.
This game is like $140, something like that.
Okay.
A lot of the more expensive titles for the Wii I did trades for, or like I went through like my collection. I got rid of. You guys probably not gonna be happy, but I got rid of a lot of PlayStation stuff, a lot of Xbox stuff, to get this, just to kind of get this set done. Next is
Bro, I'm a fraud. I have a whole Nintendo wall right here. People don't see it, but it's right here. Yeah, I'm gonna rearrange some stuff. I'm gonna take my bookcase out back here. I'm gonna put some Nintendo stuff up there so people believe me. Everyone's like, yeah. I swear.
Believe you. We want to see it. This next game is
here we go.
It's called Coraline.
Coraline.
Okay. And I believe they have a show too, right? A show or a movie?
I think it's a movie.
Yeah, something like that. I just really kind of came across that. But
I don't know,
game
it's very like 2000s goth girl thing.
Yeah, that's like another $100 game. Guys,
I know that one's very sought after.
Yeah, it's not a flex. Trust me, I did trades to get a lot of this stuff. Ju-On the Grudge.
Nice.
It's like a haunted house simulator. That was at the time like $120. I might have gotten a little bit under. Next is The Calling.
It's all horror, man. So funny.
Yeah, that was like $80. Like a lot of the survival horror games were like crazy expensive for some reason. I don't know why, but it just seems that way.
I know why. It's because it's horror fans are kind of like Nintendo fans. Like they're very passionate about the hobby. Like horror fans collect videos, they collect statues, they collect games, And like if you're into horror, like you'll collect
Mm-hmm.
the horror stuff from all the systems. You know what I mean? They'll collect the Game Boy horror
Mm-hmm.
games. They'll collect, it's. I don't know. It's like if you're into like, it's hard to describe. If you're into K-pop or something, it's like its own thing. So people like that means like they'll buy like every K-pop game that ever came out if that thing. You know what I'm trying to say? Like they're just into that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It does seem that way. Like every console survival horror games are like up there in price.
Mm-hmm. No, they're not always great.
Way, like
some of them are terrible games.
So
oh, my internet cutting out. Is that you?
Yeah, I don't know which one's been doing a couple times. So I'm not sure. But Silent Hill, this one was like 150-ish. Yeah.
That's really expensive on PS2.
Yeah, it's like $300 or something. Yeah, right, somewhere around. It's insane.
It's pretty expensive on PSP as well.
Yeah, so 150. I thought that was expensive, but I'm not getting it on PS3. Next is Ark Rise Fantasia. This game's about 130. I believe this is like
the Atlas game. Never heard of it. Who made
that? Image Pooch, Marvelous Entertainment.
Oh, okay.
Ignition Entertainment. So it's a couple people on there.
Is it turn-based action RPG or?
I believe it's action RPG because they always put like these controller icons to tell you to use. So 9 out of 10, you got that classic controller on there. It's probably more action based.
Okay.
Turn-based, I'd imagine they would put that on there. But that was a pretty cool game. This next game, shout out to Reggie. He actually helped kind of orchestrate or set up this game for me to get on the price. This is like a $200 game. This was at we were at the Portland. It was like a swap meet. I think it's like a side. What does it call it? Jesus, can't remember. But it's like a swap meet at the beginning of the year that they had. And Reggie knew the guy selling it, and I needed this like $200 game. Cool. Pandora's Tower. Yeah, a lot of people speak highly of this game. So like, especially this pile of games is something I definitely want to, dive into, put some time in. But Pandora's Tower is definitely highly recommended by a lot of people. This next game, how much was this? This was like $200. I think because it's a limited amount of copies. Donkey Kong Kingdom. It was one of those days where it's just like, why? But that's definitely one of those ones that's like 150, 200 or something like that. So
is that an RPG or what is it?
This is.
I've never heard of it.
It looks like it could be. Yeah, it's an Atlas game.
Oh, okay. That's all you need to say.
Yeah, it may be a little.
So it's some sort of RPG in some way.
Yeah, some kind of action RPG. It actually probably might be fun. That's cool when some of the games are expensive and they might actually be decent. Somebody asked.
Well, that's what I think about the Wii. It's untapped potential. I don't think I think there are a lot of games on there that are great games that are very overlooked because so many, like I said, hardcore gamers were just into other stuff. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. And somebody mentioned this game in the chat. This is Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn.
Nice.
It's like close to 200 or something like that.
Sealed?
No, it's not sealed. So East Starland, all of their games, they wrap in this.
Oh, okay. They
shrink wrap. They every single game they do it. So last but not least, this was I traded for the other one. I actually bought this game, and it was the most expensive game, and arguably the rarest game on the Wii. It's Veggie World. It's like some kind of,
that's why I love this hobby so much.
This is like a
and here it is, guys. The Holy Grail. The one of the one. Keep your eye out. Veggie World.
This game was $300, man.
Damn.
It legit lingers around that price, hasn't moved. And it's funny because this was like the only listing online. So I was like, you better get it. I seen a few more pop up, and one guy at the convention who I became friends with collecting the Wii, I seen him at multiple conventions. He has a sealed copy of this still. almost like $1,000 for it. And I was kind of like, based on the price, I'd say it's justified, not based on the game at all, but because of its rarity, yeah, I would say $1,000 is fair. I wouldn't do it though. Wouldn't recommend it. But yeah, so those are some of my favorites and expensive and rare titles for the Wii.
That's awesome, man. Very cool. Thanks for showing those off.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so it's funny. Like I've heard of some of those, and like I remember a few years ago, like being told, get this one. It's expensive. It's $40. So to hear you say, yeah, this one's $150 now, this one's $100 now, so it's already gone up since I checked. Like I remember, you could get Cursed Mountain and Last Story for like $40 or so. Like I remember going for like that price. Yeah, some of the I think that Ju-On game was always pretty pricey, if I remember correctly. I think even back then that was like 100.
Yeah.
That
that kind of
Dokapon
dropped
one,
a little bit. Dokapon was always up there too.
that was always expensive. I didn't hear about that veggie game. That's just funny to me. But
yeah, it's not funny paying $300 for games like that. But I guess that's part of the game. You're doing a complete set.
That's the thing. That's why I say complete sets are fun until they're not.
Yeah.
Until you're like that. But I'm going through the same thing with my PSVR set. Like I have everything I need except for a couple things that are obnoxiously expensive.
Right.
And
that's nuts.
it's like for variants and stuff. So I do not need it at all. It's like I literally have the game. I just don't have that cover. So it's like, do I really spend $100 to get this cover? Yes, I do.
So there's saying about cover. So there's a Madden 09 for the Wii with a slip cover over it, and that's literally all it is. Breast cancer awareness, $300.
Dang, man.
I drew the line right there. Not doing it. Refuse to freaking do it. Won't do it. Not a chance in hell. I'm sorry.
Well, that's healthy.
Yeah.
That's healthy to say no.
Yeah.
Because it's otherwise like, if you can't say no or like you can't take stuff off the table, then you're going to constantly have this like never ending thing nagging on you. Like, oh man, I need this, I need that, I need this. And you should be able to like for a week, just be like, I don't need nothing. Like you really should just be able to do that every once in a while. Like there'll be some times where I'm just like trying to buy games and it's just because I'm bored. And I just stop myself and I'm like, you know what? Stop spending money, bro. You ordered 5 games this week. Like you're good. You're good. Just go play some games. Put the phone down.
Yeah. I bet.
Go on the internet and get in an argument with someone like the good old days. You don't need to be doing that.
Of course, unless it's like the Walmart Wild Wild West where you got $5 games and stuff like that. It's a little different. I won't fault you for doing that. Why not?
Oh, that's just a good deal. I've oh man, you know how it is. Sometimes like you go like, I don't know, I go and with my girlfriend and I'm like, so I feel guilty about what I just did, but let me explain to you what a good deal it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like, you're gonna be mad at me. I spent $100 on a game. Why? Because normally it's a $300 game. So I had to. I had no choice. It was a $300 game, and it was only $100. What was I supposed to do? Was I supposed to have self-control? Be responsible? No.
It's still a video game to them. They don't get it.
They don't get it. They don't get it. But I always have the like, every once in a while, what I'll do is I'll just be like, oh yeah, grab a game off the shelf, and I'm like, I paid $40 for this. Look how much it's worth now. And then they look it up, and they're like $700. I'm like, yeah. So you know what? Maybe I'm not as crazy as you think. Now these other games, that didn't happen with any of them, but that one did.
Yeah. Or especially like if you, I went through like a huge purge probably 6 months ago when I was getting rid of a lot of that stuff. And actually, people probably going to read me in the comment sections. I sold some of my consoles that I just felt like I'm never going to collect for. Like it's way too expensive.
Dude, sell them.
But not only that,
Good.
like I
Sell
started
them.
focusing on Nintendo, but I sold
Mhm.
my Neo Geo CD, my
Okay,
American
now
Saturn.
I am mad actually. Roast them, guys, in the comments.
Yeah, yeah. Because I was just like, in my mind a couple years ago, I'm like, all right, yeah, I never had Neo Geo as a kid. I'm doing it until you start seeing like literally 150, 200 and more, and they're even more expensive now. Each game is like, bro, it's not happening, and I'm not gonna because of that. I'm not gonna be interested in collecting for it. I'm not. I'm just not. It's not something that I can see myself going out because if that's the case, like I'll get a game like once every few months if I'm doing that. So I like legit went through, sold all that stuff, and I actually paid for a vacation to go to Miami. So
There you go.
sleep guys.
So I know this is obviously a very physical oriented podcast. Like I encourage people to collect physical games all the time. But just so you know, like the Neo Geo is fiscally unreasonable for most human beings at this point. Like, I think Metal Slug is like $30,000 to get a copy or something. It's like I said, it's a little crazy. So if you haven't heard, there's this thing called a Mr. FPGA. I don't know if you heard what that is. It's like a small people call it, it's not emulation, but it is, you know what I mean? It's like the FPGA technology makes it like so it like mimics hardware. So instead of it like emulating software, it's like emulating the actual chipsets that were in the old systems and in the old PCB boards or whatever. Anyway, the point of the story is like it's very compatible with like a lot of Neo Geo MAME games and stuff like that.
Okay.
And it gives you like arcade perfect ports. So if you're like really into Neo Geo and you want to have a good experience, you can get a Mister for $400-500. Grab your case, grab yourself an arcade stick, and it's very good. It's a very, very, very good experience. Yeah, it's as close as you can get to real arcade hardware as anything.
That's true.
And honestly, it's better than Neo Geo CD because of the stupid load times.
Yeah. I had at the time when I sold those two, I had one game each, and I had them for a couple years. Now it was just dope, like the thought of having something that I couldn't afford as a kid, but it just wasn't feasible. And then on top of that, the game room I'm in now is like a third of the size where my stuff was before. So it's like I kind of just naturally had to shrink in, but I don't regret doing that. Sometimes I think about it, but it's like, nah, you're more than Nintendo. So, I still have other stuff that I will keep, but I'm not like actively seeking out. And it makes me be a smarter collector where I have to choose because of my space restrictions. So now I used to just kind of, oh, this is cheap. I think we all as collectors kind of had that where we were just buying shelf filler. Or we got friends like, hey man, you want these games, and give us like a shit ton of games or whatever. But that's with a lot of that stuff I phased through. Or if I had stuff on PlayStation and 360 or something, I was like, all right, I don't need this game on 3 different consoles. Like, so that's how I was kind of making my choice, just kind of being smart about it. And then you got emulation. I'm not saying I'm not a physical collector, but I will say that it is very difficult to go and buy physical games that you probably can emulate very easily. Like I have plans to mod my NES and SES minis to put the whole library on there, as well as
where is it? See these black things right here? All of these are all mini consoles, and they're all modded. So I've done all of that. So I got the SNES Mini, the NES Mini, the TurboGrafx, the Genesis, the Genesis 2. I have the Atari 400 Mini, Commodore 64 Mini. I like the minis.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? I'm going to replace them all with a Mister because it does it all. Just that one unit. It's just like it does everything. The Mister also does old PCs. So it'll do like Atari 800. It'll do Commodore 64. It'll do Amiga. It'll do Sharp 68000, the MSX computer. It'll do all that. And it also does 486 computers. So this thing will do everything from Atari to Doom on one unit, and I'm like, God, dude, I gotta have that in my life. I gotta have it.
Yeah, especially if it's about just playing the games. You have multiple options, and I don't know. I just feel like over time, obviously, we will hope that we're responsible adults as collectors. So we start making decisions like that where I'm like, you know what? I could just mod this and get all the games. Now, I still think I'm going to collect, the physical library, but I
I do
definitely
both.
think twice. Yeah, I think twice about it. And especially like with stuff outside of Nintendo, if it's not something like I really felt like I want to have a copy, I'll probably put it all on the minis. That way I can have all those games at my leisure to just play. It just makes sense for me to focus on what I'm really into. And then, for whatever I decide I want to play, we have other options. Another great option too is Steam Deck. I think
I have a Steam Deck too. I love it.
It is awesome, man. It is awesome. I'm still working on mine to get everything the way I want it, but yeah, that's awesome.
I can honestly say that I play more retro now that I have a Steam Deck than before. 100%. Having the Steam Deck in my hand and the convenience of having everything just in one spot, one place, not having to hook up wires or controllers or whatever. Just I have been playing so much retro stuff. It's insane. So yeah, it's a game changer, literally. And then it doesn't stop me from collecting at all. I still buy physical games, but like you said, what it's done is it's really helped me be pickier about what I pick up and what I decide is worthy of me buying a physical copy. So for instance, it's a great example. Like I really like Cool Borders 3, right? But there's Cool Borders 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or whatever. And the type of person that I am is I'm very like completionist. If I buy like one, I usually tend to buy all of them. I just like that, even if but the Steam Deck, it's helped me with that a little bit because now I have Cool Borders 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2000 like on my Steam Deck, and I only play 3. I don't play the others, even though I have them. So as long as I own 3, I'm psychologically like, that's really the only one I give a damn about. I don't really care if I own 1, 2, or 4. It's not, I'm like, it helps me with that OCD thing. Now, if you're a normal human being, this probably sounds insane to you. But like, if you're into collecting and you're obsessive about stuff like this, you understand. Like, I have a compulsion sometimes when it comes to collecting. It's not like I even think, I just do. And it's like, the Steam Deck has really calmed that down for me. And and what's funny too is I said to myself, this will be great. I won't, it'll like completely get rid of my urge to collect for the NES and the Sega Master System. And the exact opposite has happened. I'm like,
because you play, you're like, I need it.
I am in love with Master System now. And I'm like, oh,
Master System is awesome.
Dude, I need to be getting some of these games. These are so good. It's like the exact opposite.
The other major pro about getting a Steam Deck is, especially for me, the way I looked at it is, I don't always want to go and hook up all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
So what's better for me is, okay, I got the game, but I can preserve my hardware and I could just play it on Steam Deck. Like I can stream it, I can put it in the dock and play it, and they make all kinds of third-party controllers that's exactly like the originals. So, you can preserve your hardware and not have to buy, not there's anything wrong with them, but like the HyperKids, you literally can have so much in one place and it's portable. Like it really, really is. It's awesome. And it's funny about the Steam Deck. When I went to, I believe I was at PRGE. No, it was E3. The last E3. I was there. So I played Steam Deck before, like it was even like had a name. Because I went over there, look, I was like, what is this? They're like, yeah, it's a portable PC. I'm like, this is freaking nuts. And I remember the price that they were talking about at the time. And of course, like now they got the OLED, and my buddy, he played it. He's like, oh yeah, this is awesome. So he's like, he's cheap, he don't like to spend money. So he's like, oh, I'm gonna get a PSP. Somebody's giving me a PSP. I said, it's no way you're going from the Steam Deck OLED to go play that. Just go ahead and spend the money. You're wasting your time because you're gonna try to chase that high. But that's the best thing possible. And then even just have how they have it laid out for you to have all these emulators and games on there. And like I said, just to have all those available options to you right there at the fingertips, like it's really the best of both worlds, honestly.
Oh, dude, I'm obsessed. I love it.
Yeah. I highly recommend it.
And I probably spend as much time screwing around with my Steam Deck as I actually do playing games too. I'm like constantly like updating files or editing the things or fixing. So here's the thing too. So it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There's some downsides to it. So first thing that drives me crazy about it is that like a lot of the times Steam Deck or MU Deck or whatever, it just doesn't recognize the name of the damn game correctly. And it drives me crazy. So it'll be like freaking Garfield, and then this thing it'll give it some absurd name like Ryukin Shukarin Cheka. I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, and so there's this annoying thing where you kind of have to go in, find out what the game actually is, and then go on to the website and fix it, find the right code for the game, and like so that's annoying.
Yeah,
but like
that's true.
It is annoying. So that's it. There's a time commitment to setting it up. It's not plug and play like so. There are lots of people that they just do not want to deal with that shit. They want the console. They would rather go out and buy the game so they can just put the game in, pick up the controller, turn it on, and it works. They don't have to play around with that crap. So that's fair, but it's a fair criticism. And the other thing about emulation is that no matter what, there's always a couple games that just don't seem to work.
Right.
Like out of the library. So there's just, so and if those happen to be a game you really care about, then that's a no, it's not good. That's a non-starter because your game doesn't work. So that can be annoying. And the other thing is like, if you're like a purist, like a lot of the times, like the sound will be messed up.
Oh yeah,
Or like the game is not running at the right frame rate or something like that. It's like there's some sort of technical issue going on that's off. And like you'll be playing the game and like you can't put your finger on it, but you can tell something's kind of off about it. Something's a little off about it. So that's why it's like emulation. Like I said, it ain't perfect. Sometimes it's fine. Sometimes it's not fine. So I'm not here to like argue. Like I said, I prefer physical media across the board at the end of the day.
Agreed.
But that doesn't mean I hate digitals or emulations, and I don't appreciate the convenience factor of it because it is kind of awesome. So yeah.
I definitely think it's best for retro games for sure. And I mean, like I would say like SNES, Genesis era and back, because once you go past that N64 GameCube, it gets a little, it gets wonky, it gets difficult to run. But just the simple fact to have these Game Boy, DS, all these things where you can just play these libraries and again have all that stuff right there, can't beat it.
But you should still buy physical, folks.
Yes, absolutely.
Support your companies. I don't even know. Does anybody even want to support the companies these days? Does anybody here honestly even like Sony or Xbox anymore? I feel like after the last few weeks, it's just nothing but everybody fucking being mad.
Yeah, Xbox pissed me off. I don't know if I said this first I was on it. I sold my Series X recently. That was one of the ones I got rid of because I legit had it for like 2-3 years and I didn't buy. I'm sorry, I did. I bought Call of Duty. That's because when I bought my Series X, I had Game Pass Ultimate. So that's how I was playing Call of Duty online. So I was like, all right. But once that ran out, because I had it for like a year, whatever it was, came with it. I was like, all right, I'm going back to PlayStation. And I literally still didn't buy any games. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to sell it while I can get some money. But I recently did just, I can see it over there. I recently sold or picked up a Series S for cheap. That's my recommendation. I'm all for physical. But as far as the new Xbox is concerned, I would absolutely do a Series S. Absolutely. That's the way to go if you want to do the new Xbox. Now, if
I would just go PC. I'd get PC and Game Pass.
Yeah.
Why the hell? Why bother with their consoles?
Yeah, but you can get those on Marketplace. Like I got that for $80.
Nice.
So I was like,
I do want to get a Series X at one point just because of the backwards compatibility thing, but it's weird. Like they almost like stopped supporting it and actually took games off the fucking list. They've been like taking compatibility off instead of adding more games. So I'm like, maybe I don't want to do that because
Well,
what's the
I wouldn't,
point?
because that was one thing that pissed me off. That I was all when they were first announced the PS5 and the Series X. Of course, I wanted both, but I'm like, I'm all for the Series X. They're like, oh, it's going to be fully backwards compatible and all this stuff. So I'm excited about it. So I started getting even more original Xbox games, putting them in, not working. And then now the list was already short. Now it's shorter. I'm like, you guys completely lied to me. And I've spoken about that multiple times on my channel. Like, it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth, and I really, really just don't like Xbox anymore.
Well, you know where Xbox games work great on? Steam Deck.
Yeah,
they work solid.
Everywhere but an Xbox.
Well, we're a little bit over the 2-hour mark, and as much as I could bitch about Xbox and Sony, and that'll be a whole nother show we could do. I feel like that was great, man. That was awesome.
Yeah,
thanks for showing off some of your collection.
Yeah,
showing off some good stuff. You got an amazing collection, man. If you guys want to see more of Marcus's collection, he has a whole bunch of videos, his whole journey about collecting the Wii set along the way, which those are like my favorite types of videos. You can watch the whole series. It's really good. He does game store tours, little pickups. Got a great channel, so check him out over on Video Game Votary on his YouTube channel. The links are below in the description to his X page, his YouTube, and his Instagram. If you guys want to give him a follow. Also, I'm really bad at this, but I have a YouTube channel and an X, and I hit a major milestone. I have 50 subs, guys. I did it. 50 subscribers. I'm big time. So now, from now on, like, do you know who I am? I'm gonna be one of those guys reaching out to people. You want to come on my show, peasant? I have 50 subs. No, I'm just kidding. But if you guys do like the podcast, please subscribe to my channel as well as Figsy Games. So, yeah. Again, we'll be back on Saturday with Dan and Elisa from JRPG Life. It's going to be a great show, and I look forward to it. And yeah, thanks for watching, everybody.
Awesome. Night, guys.
Have a nice night.
You found the